Good morning, everyone. I too would like to welcome you all coming from near and far, and to all of you watching us online. I would like to start with a reading from Whispers from Eternity, Poems and Demands by Paramhansa Yogananda. This one is: Thou art so plainly present everywhere, I bow to thee. When I dance happily, dear Heavenly Father, I dance with thee. Wherever I look, I see thee peeping out at me from just behind everything. I see thee every day, painting the sky with bright colors. I watch thee clothing the bare ground with green grass. I see thee shining in the sunshine. Oh, I see thee so plainly present everywhere. I bow to thee. When I think about democracy, it reminds me of a phrase that I saw once. Someone saying, I'm a big supporter of democracy as long as I get what I want. And the thing is that democracy was conceived with good deed, with good intentions. But the problem is that it's pretty much filtered by the consciousness of the people. And sorry to say, we are not in an illuminated time, and consciousness is not that high. So even though big masses, big groups of people may think that something may be right or may want something in particular, that doesn't mean that is a good thing, that is the right thing, and not that it is anchored in God. So really what we need to do is to find that truth within, and to commune with that from within. There is something though that democracy brings us, it's like it mirrors a God-given right, which is the right to choose. Now, what we cannot choose, or what we cannot decide or vote into existence, is the universal laws. There are things that are established, and that's part of the game. We come here to manifestation, in creation, and there are things that we cannot change, like the heat, a fire will burn you, or that when the energy rises on your spine, you feel happy and joyful, and when the energy is down, you feel sad and you feel heavy. And those are things that we cannot change. But what we can change and we can work with is what we do, how we do it, and the attitude which we do it. Some time ago, I was in an art workshop, and I was trying to paint like a background, like a subtle, kind of transparent background, something that could represent heaven, or it was something very subtle, the thing that I had in my mind and I wanted to express on paper. And the tool that I had in my hand was a crayon. So I was trying to paint this subtle sky, the subtleness, the beauty, the delicacy with a crayon. So if you don't know what a crayon is, it's a really good tool if you want to paint details, but not for difuminated backgrounds. So I was struggling with it, the crayon was struggling with me, the paper definitely was struggling too. So the teacher was walking, and she saw the whole picture. So she, wait a moment, came to me and said, I think I know what you are trying to accomplish, but a crayon is not going to help you. I think you need watercolors. So she gave me the right paper and the watercolors, and you cannot believe it. Just like magic, that background with those subtle colors, that transparency, it was just there. So it was interesting to understand that I cannot change the crayon. The crayon will behave as it does. And the same with the world. We cannot ask the world to give us what we want, what we need, if we are looking for happiness, if we are looking for self-realization, for that inner satisfaction. We cannot see it in the world. We need to find that medium that is going to help us to develop that subtle consciousness, that depth, and that beauty. And it will come the moment also, the time, that we cannot do it by ourselves, that we need our teacher or guru to say, hey, my son, my daughter, you're not using the right tool, let me help you. But we need to be open for that. Now, truth is one and is eternal, but also truth is consciousness. It's not something in particular, it's not a specific manifestation or a thought, it's not even just a word, it's a consciousness. And when we tune into that consciousness of truth, our lives are transformed. And that's where we come from, and what we aim for is to live in truth. Now, to tune into that truth, we need to make our own effort, but it's not always easy and it's not always possible. Truth are for those that are ready to receive it. Years ago, I was in college and I spent a good amount of time, a few good hours, discussing about spiritual matters. And it was so interesting. My friends and I will get together and talk about what we are here for, where we come from, where are we going, and the light, the darkness, the good and the bad. And that was very interesting conversations. But at some point I thought, what are we doing? We have no idea what we're talking about. It was all in the mind. It was just concepts that we may have heard before or what we think, but everything was filtered by our own limited consciousness. It was until I met Paramhansa Yogananda that I felt, okay, I think he knows what we are talking about now. Now, something that it was interesting though, even in those conversations, it was what was behind our questions, the longing that we all had. It doesn't matter what kind of conversations we had, but the longing was coming from the same place. It's that longing of knowing God, of knowing the truth. And in that, we all are united. And another aspect of truth is that it comes in unity brings truth. When we see things separately, we are separating ourselves from God. But when we work in seeing the unity, what brings us together, what we have in common, is a way that we grow closer to each other and also closer to God. So that's what we want to reinforce, is that unity. We try to find that happiness and that sense of unity in different ways, and it's going to look different for each one of us. For a period of time, I was thinking that I would find my happiness in traveling. So I took a backpack and I started traveling all around Europe. And can you believe it? After the 50th city, I was so bored. It's like another city, another park, another building, another church. And it was somehow entertaining, but definitely I wasn't finding the happiness that I was looking for. Until I end up in Ananda Assisi in Italy. It was an instant connection. As I was going in to the main room, it's the dining room, and I saw the picture of Paramhansa Yogananda, which I was following for years until that point. This was the very first time that I got in touch with a community, with a group of people, all of them united in finding God, united on practicing these teachings, meditating together, helping each other, feeding that unity, that the recognition was instant. I felt like home. I felt like I was living in an environment that this was truth. Until then, it was only impressions, it was only trying to find the meaning of life. But in that moment, I thought, I felt, I knew this is it. So in that realization, it was a way to find that connection with the people around, but also understanding that there was an element much deeper that the mind cannot understand, that was the connection, that it was connecting me with everyone that I was meeting, and little by little also understanding that it wasn't only confined to that beautiful place, but eventually we learned that we all are connected in that unity. Krishna said in the Bhagavad Gita, and I may be paraphrasing, Krishna said to Arjuna, in whatever form people worship me, in that very form I will manifest myself to them. And this is a beautiful way to understand that each one of us is going to relate with truth in a different way, and that's okay, but what is behind is all the same. I've been painting, and one aspect that I've been tuning into recently is how the light hits the elements, any element. And at night, when there is not light at all, not even a moon, it is difficult to recognize anything. Everything is dark. Best case scenario, you may see a shape, but sometimes you don't know if it's one or two or more things, or what is even that. But when the sun starts coming up, you are able to distinguish the different elements. Oh, this is a tree, or this is a bush, or this is a deer. And as the sun moves, the identification of the object is very clear, and you can see how separated they are. Okay, this is a tree, and this is a friend, and whatever. But there is a moment when the sun starts coming down again. They call it the golden hour. And the sun is hitting every element in such an angle that things start changing. The color changes, the light changes, and all of them start having something in common. And it's like a sort of a golden halo. So it's a beautiful image to remember that even though we are all different, but we all are being blessed by the light of God. And in that connectivity, actually, if you are painting that scene, you will have some colors, and every element will have a hint of that color. I like to think that all of us, with our personalities and our differences, we all have that golden light that is shining within and around us. And this is what we want to feed. This is what we want to encourage, to live in that unity. This last springtime in the Crystal Hermitage, every springtime we have a beautiful, magnificent festival of tulips, the Tulip Festival, and tens of thousands of tulips are being planted every year. This last springtime, this lady was visiting. She was a professional photographer, and she was taking photos, beautiful photos of every flower and every tulip, just trying to capturing the light. But it was a moment that she put away her camera because she couldn't take any more photos. She even said to one of the gardeners, I'm so taken by the beauty of the garden that I cannot take even one more picture. And what she was feeling, it was not only a beautiful image to take a picture. What she was feeling was a consciousness, a deep beauty that she couldn't grasp with her camera. The only way to grasp it was to be present, to be open, to receive that beauty, to receive that consciousness, to tune into that eternal truth, that manifestation of God. So this attunement to truth starts with yourself and start within, and only you can do that journey to tune into the truth. So then we start the inner journey. So we understand that, and we start the work. We start going inside. And what do we find? Our inner citizens. They are a lot, and they are a bunch. So we start recognizing the attachments, and we have the habits, and the blind mind, and the ego, and the karma, and all those inner citizens are trooping just to fight the battle of life. Now, can you imagine if we just give all the power to these inner citizens, where our lives will go. If someone's saying, I want to do whatever I want to do, and these ones are the ones democratically winning the vote in the battle, our life is going to be miserable. Those inner citizens have such a power that are going to bring our energy down, and we are not going to find happiness with this. So what we want to do is to try to energize another kind of citizens. When I was little, I had this, it was kind of a toy. It was between a game and a toy. I received that from my grandma, so this is kind of old. So some of you may relate with this. Some of you in the younger generation don't have idea what is this about. Let me tell you. It was a doll that you will cut with scissors, and then you have, and because this was on paper, it wasn't a 3D doll. It was a very simple paper doll, and then you have the dresses and the complements also on paper. So you will cut them and you will put it on the doll, and you will change the dresses, and it was fun because you have your crafts and then you have your play. And normally these dolls were adorable. They were beautiful, they are very wholesome and very sweet. It was interesting though to see that when putting the different dresses or the different costumes, that doll will change a lot. Sometimes even difficult to recognize what was the doll, what was behind that. And somehow the same happened with us and with our lives. We live in the world and we start putting layers and layers and layers to the moment that we stop and think, who am I? Where am I going? What do I want? What is all this about? And we lose track of who we are in reality. But the good thing is that if we peel all those layers, the essence, the beauty, the light of God is still there. So it's the journey of peeling away all those identifications to go back into that inner realization of who are we in reality. And for this, we compare with our positive inner citizens. On the Bhagavad Gita, if the rebel citizens, the bad ones, are called the Kauravas, what we want to partner is with the Pandavas, and these are self-control and adherence to truth, what we need to do to avoid what we shouldn't be doing, to have self-mastery, to be in calmness. And these qualities are going to help us to win the battle. How you say, spoil alert for those that they don't know. In the Bhagavad Gita, these 5 brothers win the hundreds of the other inner citizens. But this depends on us, because inwardly there is a continuous voting. We are voting into what to choose, what to do, and whatever we act upon, we are going to receive the result. So if you need to vote for something or for someone, vote for the Pandavas and feed that troop so we can win the battle. Another aspect on feeding the negative qualities within us or the positive is that the negative ones is going to energize the ego-oriented actions, and this is going to trap us more in delusion, is going to make stronger our attachments or fears, and this is going to pull us away from God. While when we vote for acting correctly to feed those inner positive qualities, we are going to grow closer to God. Our energy is going to lift up. We are going to feel the strength and the courage to keep going. Some time ago, I was studying, and by the end of the career, this was an engineering, and the future looked very bright. The problem was that I wasn't enjoying it. And it was a moment that towards the end of the career, I need to really be truthful with myself and be honest if I wanted to continue with that. So it just happened that I was in Italy, in Ananda, Sisi, and Swami Kriyananda was there. So I had a meeting with him. And we had a conversation, and at some point he asked me how things were going. I shared with him the situation, and he stopped for a moment and said, if you want success in the world, you're going to need your studies. But if you want to be happy, you don't need it. And that was it. It was up to me to choose which direction I wanted to go. So I think I understood at that time, but nowadays I understand even better that every step that we take in a direction is going to bring us those results. And when we tune with our soul, with our heart, with that inner truth, inner light, we are going to grow closer to God. One thing that also is very important to understand on tuning into the truth and make it part of our lives is that it requires a lot of courage and strength to live in truth, because it's not easy. And the world is not designed for encourage the truth and to encourage a life of uplifting self-realization in God. So it takes a lot of courage. Just the fact that you are here today or watching this video, it says a lot. Now, Swami Kriyananda, this self-effort is called tapasya in the terms of yoga. And Swami Kriyananda defined tapasya as a self-offering to God. So instead thinking that it takes effort and is a struggle, actually we can say that this is a self-offering to God. And that just changes, isn't it? The approach on how do we show up every day is not that we need to fight, is that I'm offering my life, whatever I do to God. We have a friend that he volunteered to be part of a project here in the community. And that will imply for him to pay a certain amount of money to buy some equipment. And he said, yes, I will take care of that. A few days or weeks later, he received a note that that project is going to cost 15 times more than what he was expecting. So he said, well, I say I will do it and I'm going to do it. But God, you need to help me. So with that trust, with that self-offering, he continued putting out the energy, showing up. And what happened is that in the 11th hour, he got hired to do a job, and he received to the penny the amount of money that he needed to participate in that project. And this is what is life about. When we really give ourselves fully, we empty ourselves with what I want and what I don't want and what I like. We empty ourselves, we leave the space for Divine Mother to come and to flow through us. And that takes a lot of courage. And there is another beautiful story about Sabri. She had, I don't remember the name of her guru, but this is in the Mahabharata. And she and her guru go to the forest. When the guru was ready to leave the body, he was going into this pile of fire, and she was feeling despair because her guru was leaving the body. So she wanted to take her life also, because life wouldn't mean anything without her guru. But he said, wait a moment, it's not your time yet. There is one more task that you need to do. Be ready for when Rama comes. And the guru left. So Sabri was there by herself in the middle of the forest with no idea who is Rama and when is he going to come. So what she did every day was to go out to the forest to pick the best berries and to have them ready, fresh on the table, to make the best beverage and have it ready on the table for when Rama will come. Day after day, weeks, months pass, years pass, decades pass. And every day she was doing the same. We can think, well, that could feel boring or maybe a little bit, like growing this despair, like what is going to happen when Rama is coming? I'm doing more of the same all the time. I want something different. But no, Sabri, with a heart full of love and devotion for her guru, will show up every day to pick the berries and to have that beverage, to have it ready for Ram. And eventually he came, but it took a lot of effort in her part, but it didn't feel like that because she was doing it with so much love and devotion for her guru. So I would like to end with an image. You may be familiar with this painting of Michelangelo in the Sistine Chapel of God in the clouds, in the sky, stretching his arm and stretching the finger in a symbol, as a symbol of offering his blessings. And next to him is Iran. And Iran is also like sitting or laying. He's also with her arm stretched. He's even looking to God. It's a beautiful image. The only thing is that Adam's finger is bent, so much so that he is not able to touch God. God is right there, offering the blessings. The same for us. But we need to stretch. We need to do that last effort so we are able to touch God, to be with Him, to unify our inner light into His eternal light.
Many hands make a miracle. Let's all join hands together. Life on earth is so wonderful when people laugh and dance and struggle as friends, get all their dreams achieved.